Well, it seems to be working this time. Yep, I'm here. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what went wrong. I had to reboot the modem. I called Spectrum and they said there was no outages or anything. So I don't know what the problem was. It was telling me on my laptop there's no internet, but y'all can see me through the phone, the camera. Now let's see if I can get both of these things together. There we go. Finally. Oh, that took some doing. I was about to give up. I was about to give up totally, y'all. I had to go outside and empty the buckets at each tote. It rained so much last night, the little black buckets were overflowing, so I had to dump them in the big containment container, the 32-gallon container. Happy Sunday, April. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know why it did all this. I was just making sure all my settings were on. Orange Crush, that sounds good. I've got a bottle of water. I started sweating from being outside and emptying those buckets, and I said I wanted to get them empty before they start breeding mosquitoes. Yeah, something went wrong with the internet. I have no idea what it was because I've been on the internet this morning. I've been, on YouTube doing stuff. I just haven't tried to go live, but at least it's straightened out now. Susan says, then I'll make some pop. No, I usually am, but this was the quickest thing I could grab was a bottle of water because I need to put ice in my little insulated cup. And I said, I got to get live before that. Get over here on live chat instead of top chat. I was even thinking about doing some banana nut bread while we were live, and oh, I never got all my stuff out for that, so I guess that's out the window. Yeah, we're still, even though it's not raining, the wind's not blowing, everything's calmed down. We're still issued tornado warnings for this area for today. So, but like I said, if a tornado comes, there's not anything you can do about it. You can try to run from it, but you may run right. It may change and run right towards you. So you never know. That's bugging me that my name was misspelled. I had to go in there and change that. Oh, I hope y'all watched my video that I put up this morning with little buddy in the garden. And I showed a picture of my little hummingbird house. I had never seen a hummingbird house before, but I saw this one and I had to get it. So it's not even as big as the feeder is. It's a little bitty house. I don't know if they'll use it, but I've got it hanging next to their feeder. Was an imposter. April says I feel like a hummingbird. I've seen a few at my feeders. You just have to be there at the right time. And if I'm there, they'll fly up around the feeder, but they won't stay, especially if I'm talking, doing a video. They'll fly away. I've got to sit there and be absolutely quiet. And they'll come up all around my head. They'll get up on the feeders and eat. But the minute I start talking or moving around, they fly off. And they don't mind little Buddy because he never bothers them. You know, he's got plenty to eat. So he doesn't bother the little hummingbirds. Oh, and now I got the wheel turning again. So I don't know if that's happening on your end or not. So it looks just like it's not going to be a good internet day today. That's what it was in the butterfly garden. If you sat still, they would land on you and sip from their syrup. Yeah. Once you start moving around, it spooks them. You know, they're not used to that. But we got almost 4 inches of rain last night. That's a lot of rain, y'all. And it's probably flooded in areas down below me, but me being on top of this mountain, I don't flood up here. And there's Nancy McKay. We got Susan Proctor, April Flowers, Connie Jones, T. Sharon. Who else we got in here this morning or this afternoon? I saw some names I didn't recognize, and I think I lost them with all the commotion of the internet because I don't see them back in chat. Dennis Malone, you need to come back online. We lost Dennis. And it seemed like there was one or two others that were in here. And then when I had to start the new live, we lost them. Or maybe Dennis is still here. I don't know. It seemed like we had one or two more and they're gone. But I started putting my cards up here on my freezer door. I've got two from the secret giver, and then my brother sent this one birthday card. And I think I told you in the video that I not only got a Sonic gift card now, but I got one for Whataburger or Burger King. I don't remember which. Let me look. That'll bug me until I look. Burger King, not Whataburger. They got Sonic and Burger King. So whatever day I decide to go to either place, I'll try to do a video on it. Maybe a live, I don't know. The internet doesn't work too good for me when I'm too far away from the house, especially when I've got to use the city Wi-Fi and all that. But because when I tried to do the live at the 4th of July fireworks, it didn't do too good. Drinking tea to get my fiber in today. I need to fix a big pot of tea. I haven't fixed tea in a while. Aloha, April. She says happy Sunday. We got Becky, Nancy McKay, Dennis Malone. Yeah, he says he's still here. Yeah, I didn't sleep last night. I was up all night. I chatted with Connie part of the night. She was keeping me up to date on the radar. The wind got real bad here before it started raining. I mean, it blew and blew, and I figured that was the storm headed this way. And all of a sudden, it was dead calm. no wind at all. Hour or so later, it started just pouring down rain and a little wind, not real bad. So we didn't get any of the real bad weather, but we did get a lot of rain because we probably got, I don't know, 3 and 5/8 inch last night, almost 4 inches. That's a lot of rain all of a sudden in one night, y'all. Because I got a rain gauge out there in the yard and I empty it every time I read it. So the next time it rains, I can measure it the next time too. But it was almost to 4 inches. I said, "What? I know it rained a lot, but not that much." Oh, I know the tornadoes, the wind. Oh, it's torn up a lot of towns in the path of these tornadoes. I've been looking at some of the videos from Iowa, Minden, Iowa. It almost destroyed half their town. And then in Oklahoma, there's several other places that the tornadoes did a lot of destruction that I was watching. Yeah, Nebraska and Iowa got there night before, right? Well, that was good if there's only one death. It's a shame that it had to even claim one person's life. I know my neighbors, um, Miranda, her parents, and I think one of her uncles came down for the weekend. And he said they come because they had all these bad warnings of these bad tornadoes coming down Tornado Alley, and they're up around Oklahoma, I think somewhere up in there. And I guess maybe they figured they were better off to come down here to Cranberry, get out of the path of destruction, so to speak. So I don't know if it touched the town they came from or not. Yeah, like I said, they're still issuing a red alert tornado warning for this area for today. Because I brought it up on the forecast, the radar, and it was in red letters. Warning still in effect. Tornado for today. So I'm trying. I brought up a picture of Susie. Susan, I don't know how it's coming through, but I was going to try to show you what she was holding in her hands, but I can't get it to focus good. I don't know what she was holding, but she was sitting in front of a big butterfly. That thing behind her was a butterfly. You can see the butterfly. You can't see her too good in detail, though. I don't know how to focus these cameras. Oh, well. You got a test tube with syrup in it and a flower on top. They can put their nose. Oh, okay. Like it's a hummingbird feeder then, huh? It was pretty. And there's Bella's Whisper Farmstead. Welcome to our chat, Bella. I saw that. I wrote it down. I haven't tried it yet, Dennis. That or Denise. That creamy chicken taco soup. I'll have to try it. Here's a motivational quote for today. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. And that was by Confucius. And the next one it says, ever tried, ever failed, no matter, try again, fall again, fail better. So it just means every time you try, even if you fail, you'll still get better at whatever it is you're doing, hopefully. And another one that says, it always seems impossible until it's done. That is so true. Now I got to read this. I just scrolled down for the heck of it. It says, if you're going through hell, keep going. Yeah, I don't want to stop in hell. If I'm going through, I'm going to keep going and go out the other side, hopefully. It says, our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Yeah, I love all these motivational quotes and quotes of the day because I think of instances that I fall into those categories of what they're saying. Just like every one of these big projects that I've tried, I've hesitated, like doing the floor, the hallway floor, the bathroom floor, the bedroom. I says, oh my God, I cannot do that. But you don't know until you try. And you're not ever going to get anything done if you don't at least try it. So I said, well, I'm going to try it. I'll do the best I can. And by God, my best was better than some other person coming in here doing it and me paying them money to do it. Right? You don't want to stop mail. If you're there, just keep going, keep trucking. Yep, never impossible. Just keep moving forward. I've got ponderosa pink tomato sprouts come up. They're only about a half inch tall, but I've got a whole line of them come up. And I want to put out more of the purple tomatoes. I want to plant some more seeds of those and see if I can get some of those purple tomatoes started because I've never grown purple tomatoes. I've never grown the pink ones. So I'm anxious to get me some plants going with them. Yeah, it might be a little hot down there. I don't think I want to stop. Hell, just keep trucking. I'm going to work on all the groceries, but I will keep listening. Yeah. The anonymous giver sent me another grocery order today. And I didn't know they were sending it. Oh my God. I saw all that stuff. I thought to myself, where am I going to put all this food? My freezers are full. My refrigerator's full. My cabinets are full. If it keeps on, I'm going to have to get another freezer to put the stuff in. I'll have to put a small chest freezer on the back porch or something. I don't know. But they told me the way things with the government and Iran and Israel and Ukraine and everything's going, it may end up in a third world war. So everybody needs to be stocked up on food and supplies, of the necessities that you need, because a lot of people think it's going to come to the point where there's nothing going to be available for you to buy. The food's not going to be there, and if it is, it's going to be so expensive we can't buy it. Now, I hate to see that happen, but that's what everybody's telling me. I come across these commercials sometimes where they're trying to sell you this freeze-dried food, ration food, survival food, because they're saying that pretty soon the shelves are going to be empty. There's not going to be groceries to buy. If you can't grow it yourself, you're not going to have it. I don't know, that's kind of scary. Because even the food you stockpile, you fill your cabinets, your freezers, you fill a bedroom with stock rations, canned goods, dry food, beans, that type of thing. That, if there's no food out there to get, then that's food that stockpile is only going to last until it's gone. And then what are you going to do? Hi, Lisa. Hello. How are you doing today? Susan says she has a stockpile. I know she does. She's been telling me about it. Well, I definitely got a stockpile. Yeah, if you got freeze dried food, you need at least water to rehydrate it. And if you can food, you know, out of your garden and stuff, you got to have some place to store it, because you can't put it out in the weather. It can't be in a shed that's not heated or cooled, because it would get too hot or it would get too cold that the jars would freeze. So I have to keep everything in my house, and it's getting a little crowded. Yep, scary times that we're having right now. And quite a few people are expecting the worst, unfortunately. Yeah, and with me, I don't have access to water. If the water company shuts the water down, I have no water coming to my house. I'd have to rely on buying gallon jugs of water, or buying just little bottles of water. And that would not be fun. I mean, you got to have a bath, you got to have water to cook. Yeah, I'm doing fantastic, Lisa. Glad to see you're doing good. Nancy McKay, Becky, Lisa E, Bella's Whisper Farmstead. Yeah, a lot of water, not a little bit. You'll need hundreds and hundreds of gallons of water. One of my friends said the only problem with stockpiling food in a case something like that happens is if your neighbors find out you got food stashed away, they're going to be coming knocking on your door, or they're going to break in and steal it. I said, well, I don't have that much, but I mean, if they didn't have any, I could see them trying to get in to get something to eat. Nothing the human spirit cannot conquer. Yeah, rain barrels. Well, I've been buying the 32-gallon trash cans, and I take the lids, you turn them upside down, and you put a hole in the center, and glue a screen to that hole to where water can go through, but it keeps out debris and stuff. And that way, when you put the lid on, it doesn't cause mosquitoes, but it'll catch rainwater. I've got all of my containers fixed that way, but I need more. I think eventually I'm going to buy a couple more 32-gallon of those containers and fix them for water catchment, and gradually get rid of the 5-gallon buckets, because the big containers are easier to dip out of and all that, because I can't lift the 5-gallon buckets anyway. And if I do, it's only like a half an inch and move them, and that's it. Yeah, I do that. I mean, I started doing that years ago. Or actually, they're not milk jugs. They're just gallons of water that I bought in the gallon bottles, or the gallon jugs that you can get drinking water in. And I've got about 4 or 5 of them under the cabinet in the spare bathroom. And I started doing that years ago because of like the week-long snowstorm we had. We didn't have water because the lines were frozen. Down way away from me, they were frozen, but it kept the water from getting to me. And, I melted snow what I could to try to flush the commode. But then once the snow melts and you don't have snow, there's nothing out there to get. So I started keeping gallons of water that's safe to drink or use for flushing the commode or taking a sponge bath or anything like that, just in case I needed the water. I said that way, at least I can make me a cup of instant coffee, or I can take a sponge bath with it. People years ago, before they had running water, they took sponge baths, they survived. I think I can too for a little bit. Yeah, and it doesn't count for washing or cooking. You just have to be mindful of what you're using when you're cooking, and, try to cook in ways that you don't use a whole lot of water. Do like I do. Wait until you get a great big pile of dishes to wash them, so you use less water to wash dishes, that type of thing. But I made it through that week-long snowstorm we had a couple of years ago. And that was the year that they turned the electricity off. They had it off 1 hour, on 1 hour. And it kept your house comfortable, because by the time it started getting cold in the house, the electricity came back on and my furnace came back on to heat the house up. And I've got a gas stove so I could cook anytime. And I've got a gas water heater. So, I had hot water as long as I could pump the water to my shower or my sink, which if the lines out in town are frozen and it's blocking the water to get to me, then I don't have any. And I even opted, I had bought a tent, camping gear, portable toilet, which is a 5-gallon bucket with a top toilet seat on it, and the bags, the deodorizers and things that you put in that bucket. And I used that most of the week because I couldn't flush my commodes. I didn't want to use every bit of my drinking water or cooking water or bathing water in flushing the commode. So I reached one point that I just quit using the commode, and I said, well, hey, I've got a portable toilet, camping toilet. I've got that out and I used it. And if you do it right with the deodorizers and stuff, it doesn't smell your house up. You don't even know it's there. And Nancy says, I remember that year what it was like in Weatherford also. Yeah, that was pretty bad. But I was lucky. I'm the only one here. So, me, one person, I used a lot less water than if I'd had a house full, a family of 4 or 5 people here. Kitty litter helps too. Well, I'm allergic to kitty litter, so I don't ever keep that in the house. Yeah, but I see what you mean. You can use kitty litter in your portable toilet. But the way the bags are, you use the bathroom, you tie the little bag up and you just drop it in the 5 gallon bucket because it's got another liner bag for the whole bag. But every time you use the restroom, you just tie it up, drop it in, and that helps contain the odor. Plus, you have deodorizers and chemicals that you put in there that breaks up the smell too. And many bags. But in a pinch, it works. Yeah, that's the way mine is. It's just a regular 5 gallon bucket and it's got a toilet seat lid that goes on it. You raise the little lid and you got your toilet seat. And then you put your lid down when you get through with your business. It works pretty good. And like I said, with it just being me, there wasn't that much to deal with. It was just me. So I survived that week. And I did have bottles of water, drinking water that I used. So I had a case or two of drinking water, the little bottles, and then I had my gallon jugs of water. So I fared pretty good. I came through it all. Where did I get it? What, the toilet seat, Nancy? You can go online and they sell them just about anywhere they have camping gear. I think Walmart even has them. I don't remember exactly where I bought mine. I may have ordered it from Walmart. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's just a little plastic seat made like a regular toilet seat with a lid, but the bottom of it kind of like clips right onto the top of the 5 gallon bucket. Yeah, I thought they did. I thought Walmart had them in their camping section. But that's the best portable toilet I've ever used in my life was just a 5 gallon bucket with a toilet seat on it. Like I said, the toilet seat's made to go on the bucket though. It fits. It's not going to come off when you sit on it. And there's Seabreeze. Hi, Seabreeze. How are you doing today? I got blooms on some of my tomato plants that all came up from seed. So I'm anxious to see what kind of tomatoes they're going to look like. I've got camping teapots and coffee pots and all kind of stuff. And I even made myself one of those, oh, I can't remember the name of it. Jet camper cooker things. It's nothing but a can with legs on it. You got holes in it. You got a little door that opens. You got a burner on top, and you build a fire in it. And all it takes is little bitty tiny pieces of twigs or broken branches that are real short, and you feed it in there. And it's designed so all the heat goes straight up to the pot or pan that's sitting on it. So it takes very little to cook with it or heat up water. I've never used it except for just trying it out, but I had it to take camping with me if I wanted to. Right along with a propane bottle burner, that you can cook on. Hey, Snow. Oh, Snow White's here. I saw Susan's Hey Snow, and I thought to myself, oh, Snow White's here. How's Snow White doing? Thank you. I didn't even read what it said on it, but it looked cowboyish because it's got a longhorn head with the horns. It looks Texas. Try that in a small town. Oh, try that in a small town. It looked like something cowboyish, so that's why I had to get it. You're welcome, Seabreeze. And there's Herb in a Bucket Homestead. I'm doing great, and how are you? Oh wow, you got a composting toilet? I've never tried the compostable toilets, but I said when I go camping, at night, I don't like to go outside of my tent. I don't know what's out there. So I said a camping toilet works great for me. And then it's got its own. I've got a one of these. Well, you can use it as a shower stall or a little cabinet for your toilet seat. And I said, my tent's big enough, I could put that in my tent, put my little bucket toilet in there, and that would be my bathroom. So you got more privacy inside your tent. You got your own little cabinet for your commode, so to speak. Yeah, I've never had any of those purple Cherokee tomatoes. So I'm planting some this year, right along with those pink ones. Ponderosa pink, I think they're called. The Ponderosa ones are a little row in the 5-tier planter. I've got a whole row that's come up right across that little pot. So I'm anxious. I'm hoping they'll make it. I'm watching them for bugs. I don't want bugs to eat the plants. And I got to get some of the purple Cherokees planted from seed too. I think I put some out in a pot in the yard, but I don't think the seeds ever come up yet. But I wanted to try them in the little planter. Yeah, that's me. I don't need a hair dryer, curling iron, or any of that stuff, but I do want my toilet. I don't want to go squat behind a bush. I said, with me, I go squat behind a bush, I'll be squatting right on a snake or something. And I'm not fond of that. Yeah. I always said if I go camping, I want to be in an RV or a big camper. I don't want to be in a tent. But my son was going camping quite a bit. And I said it could get crowded in his tent. He's got a pretty good sized tent, or he had one. But he didn't have cots or mattresses or blow up pads or anything. And I said, I can't sleep on the ground, not with my back. So I went ahead when I was still working and I bought myself a tent. It's a 14 by 14-foot teepee tent. So you got plenty of headroom. And a little shorty like me, I got way too much headroom above my head. And I bought a camping cot so I don't have to lay on the ground. It's up, like a bed. And then I've got a foam pad that I can put on it. And it's not memory foam. I can't sleep on memory foam with my back injury. I bet that's something y'all didn't know. People with back injuries do not ever need to try to sleep on a memory foam mattress. That is the absolute worst thing you can do for your back. I know I have a hard time getting up and down. I lay down on the ground and go to sleep. I never get up. Susan, yes, I will look in the. Well, I figured with my little camping cot, camping toilet, I don't have to mess with the compost and all that. It all goes in a bag and then it goes in the dumpster or goes in the garbage. Look how many years, and they still do. People throw away baby diapers in the garbage. It's picked up every day in their garbage bin. Mine is just not a memory foam. It's just a foam pad that you can buy. I've got two of them. One is like 2.5 inches thick. The other one is like 4 or 5 inches. But neither one of them are memory foam, but they are a foam that you can lay on that's comfortable. It would be like laying on your bed. My son bought a great big blow up queen size mattress to go camping with. And bless his heart, it was fine until in the middle of the night and they woke up and it deflated on them. Well, they took it back to Walmart where they paid several $100s for it and told them they needed to bring it back because it was defective, that all the air went out of it in the middle of the night. And the guy says, well, no problem, just bring it back and get another one. He said, yeah, but that don't do you no good in the middle of the night when your mattress goes flat. You know, I mean, China's market has crashed. Feel we will soon. Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I might have to make different arrangements. But a bucket would work, but you'd have to put sawdust or something like that in it until you're ready to empty it, and then just empty it on your composting pile. And the difference between the human compost and animal compost is you got to leave human compost sit for at least a year or longer for it to break down before you can use it in your garden. That's one reason I never wanted to get into that. It's not like that with food scraps and other stuff that you just throw in a compost pile. But hey, it would work if you got the property to put your compost pile on. I don't have any room here. The lots are too small. And if homes were built on either side of me or behind me, it would be too close for a human composting pile. The smell, I think my neighbors would complain constantly. I like to never got my live to connect. I had to restart it and delete the old one out, redo another whole new live, and then it didn't want to connect. Yeah, I'm sure there is, Connie, but I've just never dealt with it. As long as it's not my bank, Susan. I know I do a lot. Sometimes I'm wondering, do I need to do all this? But I love it. If I wasn't out there gardening, I would be doing something else. T. Sharon, how are you doing today? Oh man, started getting sleepy. I need me a cup of coffee. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm gonna put me a cup of coffee on. I ate oh, what do you call it? Crab salad for lunch. Oh, it was so good. That's the first crab salad I've eaten in quite a while. I used to buy it quite often when I was working because it was a quick meal and I loved the crab salad. So that was enjoyable to eat a crab salad for lunch. And there's Miss Randy Ross. Hello. I know what's up with that. Where's all the thumbs up? Oh my goodness. My birthday is May 7th in about a week, and I will be 76. I say it's all of the healthy food that I ate all my life. Because, I lived in New York for a few years with my parents when I was little, but we mostly lived in North Carolina and it was all country. My grandparents had their own farm. They raised everything they consumed off that farm. So we ate a lot of healthy food, fresh meat, fresh chicken eggs, fresh vegetables out of the garden. My mom canned or froze vegetables every year. So, and I never drank alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I don't do any of that bad stuff that a lot of people do because you do stuff like that, it'll age you. It really will. What kind of work did I do? A little bit of everything. I went to college for computer programming, and I not only got a degree in computer science, but I got one in general business. So I worked in a lot of offices. Um, I got a job in Fort Worth that I worked on for about 10 years in advertising, selling ads for companies to advertise their businesses and stuff like that. I was a substitute teacher for many, many years, which I love because I love working with the kids. And it got to the place where I was subbing every single day. I said, if I could split myself in half, I could substitute teach for 10 days a week. But, I couldn't do that. I had teachers calling me to go sub for the next day, and I already had a job for the next day, so I couldn't. And they get mad at me and they said, well, you said you were going to be available. I said, well, I am available until somebody calls me and wants me to sub for them. And then if I schedule a job, I'm not available anymore for that day. But I was considered their, um, oh, what do you call it? Prime or preferred is the word, preferred sub. So I got called constantly. I never was without a job unless I just turned it down. Yeah, I'm stubborn, Connie. I don't know when to stop. I got to get my coffee up here. And I really found that it was hard to get jobs working for companies when you got a degree in computer science. Because I've known these people that knew how to program, get jobs for these companies when they first started switching over to computers, putting everything on computers. And I knew of one person that got mad at his boss, and I don't know if they fired him or laid him off or what the deal was. But do you know he fixed those computers? He did something, he programmed those computers to where nobody could use that system but him, and they let him go. So he was not there. So that meant they couldn't use their own computer system. And once I go in and apply for a job and they find out that I had went to college for computer science, they wouldn't hire me. I think most of them were afraid to hire someone that they didn't know to deal with their computer system because they were afraid that they would do something to it that only them could work with it. And the person you're working for couldn't do anything with it. But I did throughout all that, I got a lot of temporary jobs like with Al Tiller and Associates. Um, I went in and helped set up his system, worked with the system on a daily basis, entering data, going through files, entering contracts, all that thing to get the bugs out of the system to make sure it was working correctly. And I actually saved his company basically because I found where some of his salespeople that went out and got bids on jobs for him were doing work on the side and billing it to his company. But when I found that is when I lost my job. Because when he notified the bank of what was going on, the bank told him they'd give him one more loan to cover his expenses, but he had to cut his payroll and had to cut costs in other places. So I was one of the higher paid people that he had. So I was the first that he let go. He said, I'm sorry to do it, but he said, we got to cut payroll and I'm going to have to get somebody in here that we can pay less than you just to do that basic data entry and stuff. They're not going to be doing the complete job you were doing, but we do need the contracts and other stuff entered into the system. But you know what? They messed up good time by doing that because they hired someone that didn't know computers. They didn't really know how it all worked. They did pay them an hourly wage, a lot less than my, uh, what do you call it? Salary. I had a salary every week. So it didn't matter if I worked overtime or not. I wasn't going to make any more, but I never did. I always got my work done within the 40 hours. But the one they hired couldn't do that. It would have taken 3 of her to do what I did in 40 hours, and they didn't realize that. So she started having to work overtime and still couldn't keep up with everything. And they asked her one day, they said, well, do we have more work now than what we did when Linda was here? Or what's going on? They said, no, it's the same amount of work. I just can't do it as fast as she did it. So, see, they would have been better off to have kept me doing what I was doing, paying me my salary, because it still would have been less or equal to what they paid her because they had to pay her overtime all the time. But, you never know. But see, that they just didn't realize the work that I was doing. I mean, when you know computers and you're experienced at doing it, you can go so much faster than just a normal person at your job because you know what you're doing. You're familiar with it. It's just like turning on a water faucet. It's that simple. And it was simple to me. It was easy. And I made it look too easy, I guess, because I was not only entering all the new contracts, all the existing contracts, but I was going back like 4 or 5 years in their files, bringing all that up to date into the system as I was doing everything else. And that's how I found how they were losing their money. I found all these bills that were charged off to jobs that shouldn't be there. Needless to say, he broke ties with the sales guys that did that. He was only going to contact them when he had to finish up jobs that were already in progress that they were involved on, but they were not going to get any more new ones for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I went on a lot of interviews in Fort Worth, but most of the jobs that I wanted that wanted to hire me, they'd also tell me that you had to be able to lift about a 50-pound box of files and move them from one side of the room to the other. And that was after my neck and back injury. I couldn't do that. I couldn't lift 50 pounds. I couldn't, wasn't even supposed to try. And Walker Insurance, I think it was downtown Fort Worth, they practically begged me to work for them. I said, it's pointless because I can't move that box of files that you're telling me that I'm going to have to move. They said they used to have a guy that worked in the office with the women, and that's all he did was move boxes of files from one place to the other during the day. But they all voted on it and decided they didn't need someone to move the boxes. They'd rather move the boxes themselves and make more money an hour. So that's what they did. They got rid of the office boy started paying everybody more per hour, and they moved their own boxes. And I told them I would love to work for them, but I can't move the boxes. There's just no way. I can't push or pull or try to lift a 50-pound box. And I ran into the same thing in Granbury. All the office jobs I went into interviews for, you had to be in at the courthouse. Actually, you not only had to lift a 50-pound box of files, you had to be able to carry them up a ladder and put them up on a high shelf. And I said, no way, I can't do that. I said, that's how I got how I got hurt being a manager at Walmart, was lifting heavy boxes and putting them on high rises. That was before they got those lifts that you put your boxes on and it would raise them for you and put them right up on the shelf. We didn't have all that back when I worked for them. I was even being in training for my own store. I was going to be manager of my own store, but I got injured, so that knocked all that on the back burner. Yeah, women did it. They said that some women were able to slide the box off onto their chair because their chair had wheels on it, the desk chair, and they would push the chair with the box in it over to where they had to unload it and then unload it on the stack. But sometimes that stack might be over waist high that you had to lift that box up on. And I says, I can't do that. And I said, there's no need in me telling you that I can, and come down here and just you pay me when I can't do it. Oh, I'm sorry about that coughing. They said, oh, please just try. Just try. It was tempting, but that was so soon after my neck and back injury. I was scared to death to even take a chance. With what I went through with, oh no. I lost a complete use of my right arm. I could not use my right arm for 4 months when I got injured. It took a lot of therapy to even get the use of my arm back before I went into surgery. So there was no way I was going to take a chance on losing the use of my arm or anything. Yeah, I got that temporary job at Brahms, because I was just looking for temporary jobs, seasonal jobs, nothing permanent, just to bring in extra money. And first thing they wanted me to do was take those great big 32 or 40-gallon trash cans out to the dumpster and empty them. How in the world you expect a woman to lift something like that? You can't do it. And the young guys that worked there, they refused to do it. They told the manager one day, I didn't take this job to empty garbage. I said, well, I should have told them that. I didn't take the job to empty garbage either. And it wasn't a job I was even supposed to do. Where's the cider? Where did that come from? Where's the cider? I'm drinking my coffee. Yeah, back in 19, was it 84? Right after the year after my divorce, I went back to work, working for Walmart. I was a department manager in training to be a manager of my own store when I got hurt. I ruptured a disc in my neck and cracked vertebrae at the same time. And then I ruptured a disc in my lower back, and it all happened at the same time. And it was because I was lifting heavy boxes, climbing ladders, and putting them up on high rises. So it bothers me to do anything overhead as far as lifting or straining. Um, Ever since that injury. I can lift something heavy as long as my arm is straight down, down to my side, like picking up a little bucket, like a 2-gallon bucket or 3-gallon bucket, not a 5-gallon one. It doesn't bother me as bad. But if I got something up here higher that I've got to hold up or push up, no, that bothers me. I can't do that. Yeah, so you go through an experience like that, that puts fear in you. And I was scared to death to even try lifting boxes heavy like that. And that might have been one of the only things that kept me from getting re-injured, at that time. But I thought to myself, that shocked me when I went in and applied for that job at the courthouse. And they said, well, you work great, but you do know you'd have to be able to lift a 50-pound box of files and climb a ladder to put them up on a shelf. All the women out here have to do that from time to time. I said, well, that leaves me out because I can't do that. So I do my gardening, but I try not to lift anything too heavy. Like I said, I can't lift those 5-gallon buckets if they're full of compost tea. I don't even try. I take a smaller, like gallon or gallon and a half bucket and dip it in that 5-gallon bucket to water anything with it. Or dip it with a small bucket and pour it into a watering can. I said, at least, it's tiresome and it is a job, but I can pace myself. I can work when I want, basically, or when I need to in the garden. I don't have to lift something that somebody tells me I've got to lift if it's too heavy. I set my own hours. If I don't want to work one day, I just won't do a video one day. I mean, that hardly ever happens, but it has. I mean, I've got to the place where I just couldn't do a video. And I went for a day at least with no video. But like I said, it hardly ever happens. And, that's not strenuous. It just takes time to do a video. And I was pushing it a little bit, wheeling garden soil around in the wheelbarrow. But again, I didn't lift it up that high. And I was only lifting like one end of the wheelbarrow up, and I had my arms straight down to my side, basically. That's why I was able to do that. I just try not to put so much in the wheelbarrow that it makes it so awfully heavy for me. I had moved a whole pile of truckload of wood chips one time with the wheelbarrow. But wood chips are real light. They're not heavy at all. Yeah, I'm enjoying my retirement. And that's one reason I started doing my YouTube videos, is because it does bring in a little bit of money each month. Not much, but it does bring in a little bit to help back up my bills. Hey, Shelly Edwards. How's Shelly? Diana Hinkle. How's Diane? And Becky's gonna get off of here. She's have a great day and be safe. Well, you too, Becky. Sorry to see you leaving. Yeah, when I started YouTube, I had no idea I was gonna make anything. I said, but you don't know, just like Confucius, you don't know until you try. And it started going over good. I started bringing in a few dollars a month. So, like I told my son, it's nothing to brag about, but it's a little bit. And I said it can grow. So I'm going to stick with it. I've been doing it for what, almost 3, going on 3 years now. So, what is your text? Yeah, you can sell a lot of crochet stuff. I mean, people set up stands here in Granbury during the craft shows and stuff. They sell a lot of stuff like that. Woodworking, crocheting, all kind of stuff. Yeah, every little bit helps. Yeah, Connie was here. She's not gone anywhere. We got Joanne Dula. Hello, Joanne. This coffee's waking me up, y'all. But I was up all night. At first, I was watching the weather, and I said at first they said it was going to hit us about 2 or 3 in the morning. So I was kind of on edge, so I wouldn't go to bed. I said, well, I'm going to wait and see what happens. I don't want to get in there and fall asleep. All of a sudden, all kind of chaos turns loose, and I wake up being scared to death. I'd rather be up already. So I didn't get to bed till about 4:30 this morning, and then I only slept for about 30 minutes. And I woke up, couldn't go back to sleep. So I got up, and a couple of nights ago I didn't sleep all night. So this has not been a good week for me for sleeping. Yeah, a lot of people do quilting. I love quilting. My mom always did it. She turned out some beautiful quilts. I have a butterfly quilt that she made for me before she passed away. I've sewed the quilt tops together, but I'm not any good at quilting them because I have to quilt them by hand, and I don't have room for a quilt frame to where you can stretch it out and keep it straight. And it's a hassle trying to pin it all together and hold it in your lap to try to quilt it, even though I have done one or two. And so I'm not anxious to start that again. These women that have all these quilting frames and quilting machines and all that, you know, it makes it easy for them. But Loretta Life, you know, she's a fantastic artist. She crochets dolls and outfits for them, and oh my goodness, she could sell that stuff anywhere. I think she said that she basically sold some, but basically told them just to send her the postage. But postage is getting so expensive nowadays. You can't afford to send anything anywhere. Yeah, I harvested just enough kale that I was going to cook today, and I was debating whether to try to do that on my live or not. And then I was going to make banana nut raisin cake or bread, and I got it sitting over there waiting to do, but I just didn't get my stuff all together to do it. Oh, I know Connie. She's amazing. And that stuff you do is really pretty, Connie, that cross. I can't wait to see what the clock's going to look like. And I did have a friend. They didn't ask me how much you sold it for or anything, but they asked me, did I know what you made it out of? And I said I wasn't sure. I thought it was some kind of resin, but I wasn't sure because I had never asked you what you make it out of. Yeah, resin. That's what I told her. That's what I thought it was because I heard you mention pouring it and stuff like that. So I said it's got to be some type of resin. Oh, you probably are, Shelley. You just haven't found your niche yet. Yeah, well, that's good to do, Diana. Learn all you can about quilting or any of that stuff. I used to love to make the paper quilt squares because you could just take the smallest, oddest shaped piece of material, sew it on that paper, and make all kind of glass artwork almost out of it. Because a lot of the squares that you'd sew on paper had such odd shaped pieces of material sewed into it. It looked almost like a stained glass pattern. I used to love to make those. And I didn't get the link to put anybody up on screen with me. I can though, since I'm on StreamYard. If anybody wants to get on board with me, let's see if I can find it. And all the chaos of trying to get it to connect, that is if I can get on here, if it'll let me sign in. Shelley says I can paint and draw a little. Well, go ahead and make you a cup of coffee, Diana. Mine's pretty good. Paper quilting is what you're learning. I think it's fun. I'm trying to get the link for StreamYard, y'all. I'll have it in just a minute. Get back up here so I can post it or paste it in. My brother, one of my older brothers, the one next to me, he does his with pencil and charcoal. He doesn't like the paint because he said he can't seem to get the detail that he wants in his drawing with paint, and he can get it with charcoal or pencil. I've got two of his drawings hanging on my kitchen walls up here. When I make more bread, you'll be watching when I do make it. I've had somebody ask me, sent me a message wanting to know when I was going to make hush puppies. And I said, well, I'll have to make a video making hush puppies coming up pretty soon. There, I pinned the link up at the top of the chat box. So if anybody wants to get on screen with me, they can. When I make more bread, you'll be watching. Yeah, he said he's tried painting, but he doesn't care for it. He can get a lot more detail and stuff with charcoal and pencil. Now, my older brother, he paints. He's real good. He draws and paints with acrylics. Um, my dad did either one and was real good. I do paintings with acrylics. I don't think I'm that good at it. I did one of my granddaughter when she was just starting to walk good, or she was just pulling herself up, trying to take steps, holding on to stuff. And I had it put on canvas, a copy of it put on canvas, and I gave it to my son for Christmas one year. And my granddaughter would run in and look at the painting up on the wall and say, baby, baby. Yeah, that was her. It was her baby. But of course, I had to keep a copy of it for myself. Let's see if I can go over here and show you. Unplug this camera. I can take the camera over here and show you one of his, or maybe both of them. I don't know. They're probably dusty. I haven't dusted them in a while. And I don't know how they're going to show up. But that's both of them. One is a little hunting cabin like drawing, and the other one is the little man, the hunter, out at his uh, campfire. And that's all done in charcoal. My dad was that good, but I'm not. I did a drawing of Passion of the Christ, and that was right after I went to see the show, the movie. It moved me so that I came home and I actually, it took me forever to do it, and it still may not be finished, but it took me forever to do that painting. My rendition of Passion of the Christ. Diana says, "Oh, I love hush puppies." Oh, we got Louisiana Homestead. Hello, welcome to chat. How's Louisiana Homestead doing? I've got one of the paintings that my dad did years ago. And of course, I got all of the little dibble dabble paintings that I've done. I just haven't, never hung them up on the wall. $618 subscribers. Well, it looks like I'm pushing my way to like 3,500 subscribers. Bring up the count so I can see what I've got. I've hit 3,405 subscribers right now. I flipped over. I've got 6 or 7 subscribers while I was live right now because I had 3,300 and like 98 or something like that. So that's a good deal. I'm halfway from 1,000 to get to 4,000. Oh my God. When I first started, I never thought I'd even hit 1,000. So my advice to anybody that's just starting out, it seems like you'll never get there. Oh my God. I did video after video after video. I advertised my videos. I did everything I knew to do to promote my channel to get 1,000 subscribers so I could get monetized. And finally I hit 1,000. And then once you hit 1,000, it seems like they come quicker. That's awesome. My mom brags on you all the time. Hi, Ann Watson. How are you doing today? You're still in the hospital, went home for one day, then had to come back. Oh no, for respiratory failure. I'm so sorry, Ann. You have been through so much here recently. Yeah, I said my Sunday chats is just going to be what it is, a Sunday chat. It's going to be chit chatting with everybody. It's my rest day from videos, so it's just a chit chat live or whatever I decide to do while I'm live, I guess. Yeah, that first 1,000 is the hardest to get. But like I said, once you hit that 1,000, it seemed like it just kind of moves on from there. Before you know it, you'll have 3, 4,000 subscribers and more. Seem like I pick up 4 or 5 subscribers a day sometimes. No takers to get up on the big screen with me, huh? The sun's come out now, so it's going to be humid for a few days. But then we're supposed to get more rain later in the week. See what the forecast says. Seem like it'll break for a couple of days. Yeah, the sun will be out. It'll be nice and sunshiny, being like 82, 81, 84. And then Wednesday, chance of rain again. Thursday, rain. Friday, rain. Saturday, rain. So we'll get a little break. And then, unless they change the forecast, we're going to have 3 or 4 days of straight rain or off and on rain. But I'm not complaining about rain. It'll get too dry soon enough out here. And like I said, people down below me, they may be flooded right now. Their gardens may be flooded out. I don't know, but it don't flood up here on the top of this mountain, top of this rock mountain. You have an educational channel, very interesting. Well, I try for it to be educational because I know most of the time when people watch YouTube videos, they not only do it for entertainment, but they like to learn something. Or they might like to see different ways that certain things are done, like recipes. There's a million and one ways to do one recipe. And I think everybody does it different. Like probably nobody does their hush puppies the way I do. But I love my hush puppies. And I got some fish I'm probably going to fry pretty soon. So I'll have to fix me some hush puppies to go with them. But it took me so long to figure out how to grow stuff in Texas because it gets so hot and dry, especially up on this rock mountain, because the ground does not hold moisture. I mean, it drains off everywhere below me. It doesn't stay up here. So unless you can water 2 or 3 times a day in the heat of the summer, you can't grow anything. And with water restrictions, it's impossible to water every day. So I started fixing planting in totes, buckets, big pots. I love my totes and I love my buckets when I can fix a water compartment in the bottom so it holds water. That's what's helped me grow my garden the most here, is being able for that water to be held in the bottom of the tote or the bucket so the plants have moisture in there. It's a game changer. And then with the water shortage, to be able to recycle your compost tea when it comes out the tote, and it goes in your black bucket, and still leaving you a little bit of water in that tote or bucket, but you got another uh, gallon of water almost to re-water with later. And here you need to save all the water you can to re-water with, or I found out that to be true. And like I said, people down below me don't have that to worry about. They have water. And their ground stays moist, not like mine. Ready for a fish fry? I'm about ready for a fish fry too. So we may just fry some fish and make some hush puppies and coleslaw and eat some fish. Diana said we need rain. Well, like I said, we got almost 4 inches of rain last night. We try to get it all at one time or none. It'll rain for days on end or weeks on end, and then all of a sudden when it stops, It don't rain again for months. Everything's dry as a bone. Thunderstorming here in Texas. Well, we had our thunderstorm last night. It's been fair today, no rain. But I think with 4 inches of rain, it made up for it last night. That's what was in my rain gauge this morning. It liked about maybe an eighth of an inch being 4 inches of rain. I wanted squash, but I don't know what happened about that. No, squash is really pretty easy to grow, but you got to keep some type of pesticide to it when you plant squash because the bugs love the squash plant. The worms love to eat it up, especially like winter squash and all that kind of stuff, spaghetti squash. I had a beautiful winter squash vine last year, and it was growing all over the garden across the ground out there. And then all of a sudden it started dying, and one of those squash borers or whatever they call them got into the bottom of it and just killed the plant from the inside out. Never did get any squash off of it. But I'm hoping this year will be better. I'm watching my winter squash plants and all those squash plants a lot better than I did. Keeping the either dust or diatomaceous earth or something to them. They used to sell a bear product in the garden center, and I bought it every year. I grew the best garden with that stuff. It kept all the bugs and worms away from my plants. So my plants were beautiful and they produced like crazy. But when I went to get some last year, I was told they don't stock it anymore because it was too dangerous. It was not good for human consumption. So they took it off the market. And I said, well, you ought to know they take something that works off the market. I mean, it worked great for me. I didn't see a problem with it. And I usually would plant my garden. And when my seeds came up, the first time I had to water, I'd take that pesticide and mix it in my watering can. And I'd go water my rows of vegetable sprouts that came up. And that was the only time I had to water with it was one time. And it killed any bug or worm or anything that was in the ground. And it must have stayed there for a while because it kept them from coming back. And oh my God, I had cucumber, squash, um, yellow squash, zucchini, just like crazy. I was giving it away. I had so much. I was pickling it. It worked really good, and now you can't get it. Go figure that. You know, I thought they tested all that stuff before they put it on the market the first time. I said, I think they just pulled it off the market because it worked and they wanted to be able to charge people more money for it. So they probably call it something different now. Yep. It got rid of any of that stuff. It was the best stuff they had on the market. I don't know. I've never tried ivory soap. I know some say that a few drops of palm olive dishwashing detergent in a spray bottle of water is good to spray plants with. I tried Dawn one time because everybody bragged about it. That stuff killed my plants. My plants would not grow in Dawn dish soap. So I've never bought Dawn again. I use palm olive, and I'll take my dishpan and take it out, then water some of my plants right off the porch with it. They love it. They thrive on it. It's like putting fertilizer to it because they like all the food particles and whatever gets in the dishwater when you water, and that soap doesn't hurt them. Like I said, I don't know. I've never tried ivory, but I have used palm olive. That's what the dish soap that I use. And I swear by it because I can water any of my plants with my dishwater with that soap in it, and they thrive on it. Connie said palm olive will also give the bugs the runs. Well, maybe they'll run right off my plants. How did you know that, Connie? I never knew it would do that. That's funny. I guess they did some kind of testing with that to know that palm olive gives bugs the runs. Okay, Connie. Yeah, that Dawn will kill the bugs, but it kills your plant too, where it did mine. So I wouldn't use it anymore. I got a spray right now for weeds under my carport. I tried to spray the other day with my sprayer that I had, but I couldn't get it to work. It would spray one spray out and then stop. I'd have to pump it up. It was just a hassle. So I said, well, I got to get a new one, a different one similar to that, but it may be a different brand because I used one of the cheapo ones that came from, I think it was Home Depot or Lowe's, and I had trouble using it the whole time. But I know those type of sprayers work because when I worked at Lowe's during the seasonal job that I had, and it was during COVID when COVID first started, and we used those sprayers to spray disinfectant around the store and to spray the baskets, the carts, the shopping carts, and stuff like that with it at night when we closed up. And they always work great. So I got one, but evidently I didn't get the same brand and it wasn't the more costly one because mine never would work right. So I need to get a better one, the one like they used to spray that disinfectant around the store. Because, man, that thing worked like a gem. And they don't want to run, so they leave because they leave when I do it. Well, I've got those fuzzy caterpillars here again. They're all over the place. And I try to remember don't wear my flip flops around the yard, wear shoes or my boots because I don't want to get stung on my feet. Those things hurt too bad. And then, too, they don't sting you just one time. Everywhere one of them little fuzzy things hit you, I don't know what they call them, they're feelers or whatever. Everywhere one of them things will touch your skin, it stings. One, I touched one time moving some bean poles, and I never saw the worm until after he stung me. And I reached my hand in there like that. All of a sudden, I got stung up through here. Oh, it hurt so bad. I reached back and I had probably 20, 30 bites on my hand from that touching him one time by accident. It felt like my hand was on fire. After that, I looked them up and they said that they were those things come back every year. They're rampant here in Texas, especially around oak trees and scrub oaks and stuff. And it said even though they have a really hurtful sting, they're not deadly. They're not a deadly. But hey, I don't want them to sting me. That hurts like you know what. You thought you stepped on a cigarette butt? Yeah, it probably felt like that. It amazed me that they could sting you so many times just by one touch. Because, like I said, those things, they have those little feelers, those fuzzy feelers that come out all over their body. And everywhere one of those things touches your skin, it stings. So you'll get 20, 30 stings at one go. But I don't want to cut my trees down. I like my shade. And it's just a good thing that the caterpillars only last about 2 weeks and then they're gone till next year. So I said, I guess I can put up with them for a couple of weeks. Just know they're there and try to stay clear of them. Your computer locked up, Susan? Oh, your husband got stung today, Louisiana homestead. Was it by one of those caterpillars? Yeah, those worms turn into like a moth. Some people say they turn into beautiful butterflies, but they turn into a moth. I can't remember the name of the moth. And I've got little buddy wanting to get something to eat. I guess I can give him a treat. Little buddy, don't scratch the door up like that. Good gracious. He had breakfast. He didn't get lunch yet. Here you go. All right, I'll put it out here for you. It's funny, early in the morning when I first get up, he'll scratch on the door and he comes flying in that door to get his breakfast. And then later in the day, he's not quite as hungry. So he wants you to put his bowl on the porch and let him eat because he likes it out there in the fresh air. So I put his bowl out there to let him have his little cat treats. Yeah, and I was talking with my neighbor's dad. They came this weekend because they knew that we had tornado warnings. So they drove down from, I think it's Oklahoma where they're from. And got to talking about one thing another and happened to mention those worms or caterpillars. And I said, yeah, I said, be careful. I said, I'm out here with my flip flops on and I'm kind of pushing my luck. I don't want to step on one because the sting hurts. And they don't sting you one time, it's multiple times all of a sudden. So I said, you don't want to get stung by one. But then he walked off because his wife and another lady walked up because they were out walking the dog. And I never did get to tell him that the good thing about it is they only stick around for 2 weeks, roughly 2 weeks. And I said, then they're gone. I guess they turn into their moth or whatever it is. So it's not like we have them all summer. But my laptop is ancient. because it's not capable of running Windows 11. So I know pretty soon I'm going to have to get another laptop computer that's capable of running Windows 11, because it'll be like all these other Windows programs. They're not going to upgrade them anymore, and pretty soon they're not going to work correctly. I've got a desktop computer in there. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly fine. I've kept it up all these years, but it's so out of date. It's pointless to try to spend money to update it all. You're better off just to buy a new computer. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to update my computers. I said, other than just the automatic updates that come in, because I've already tried to put Windows 11 on this one, and it tells me that it's not compatible. I can't run Windows 11. I know. The wind blowing, you walk under the oak trees, you're scared one of them's going to shake loose and fall on your head or your shoulder. And you know, wherever he lands, he's going to be stinging. I said, well, by the time my cucumbers and my tomatoes and all that's up producing big enough to pick some stuff, I said, by then those worms should be gone. Well, you go right ahead, Diana. Get you a tea drink. Yeah, you don't want to touch those caterpillars. They're not the friendly kind. They're not the kind you can pick up and let them walk on your hand or arm. Oh my God, you did that, you'd have so many stings on you. Oh, well, if little buddy's in the house in the morning after bad weather and stuff, he starts meowing and he'll run down the hall meowing, letting me know he's hungry. He wants something to eat. He wants breakfast. He's outside. He comes and he knocks on, and he takes his paw and he hits the door to let me know he wants in and he's hungry. Yeah, you don't ever want to touch one of them things. I know when I first started seeing them, I thought to myself, those are so unusual looking caterpillars, because the feelers, their stingers are black. And when you get to looking down at their body, it's green and different colors. And it's just an odd looking worm, caterpillar. It's sectioned off kind of in black and green. Weird looking thing. But no, you don't ever want to pick one of them up or even try to pick them up. I don't remember the name of them. I looked it up after I got stung to try to find out the name of it. Let's see if I can find one. This is the kind we have here. See all those little feet? I don't know if you can see them on the picture, but he's got black on him, and then the light spots are a bright green. That shows him a little better, but I don't know how good it's going to come through on the screen. But he's got those little feelers all up and down his body. And every place one of them touches you will sting. But he's black and green and almost a yellow color. He's not fun. That is the one that stung me. And it is a poisonous caterpillar, but I mean, it's not deadly. It's called a southern flannel moth or puss moth caterpillar. And it's got a technical name that I can't pronounce. Or it's called the mortal mustache. It says it's Texas' most venomous caterpillar. It's furry and cute, but it can cause intense throbbing pain for up to 12 hours. And I believe it because I was stung and it hurt forever. I didn't know they called it a mortal mustache, though. Huh. It says when a pus moth caterpillar rubs or is pressed against a person's skin, its venomous hairs are embedded, usually causing severe burning and a rash. Pain usually subsides in about an hour. Occasionally, the reaction is more severe, causing swelling, nausea, and difficulty breathing. It says they do not actively attack people, but if you brush against these caterpillars, stinging hairs hidden among the non stinging hairs can poke into your skin and break off, and venom inside the hairs or spines can penetrate your skin. This is a lot like the spines of a stinging nettle plant. And I've seen some that were more black looking than others. So I don't know if it has anything to do with the age of the caterpillar or what. It says a good rule of thumb, if a caterpillar looks fuzzy, don't touch it. I've got a lot of them in my yard. They're on my sidewalk. They come up on my porch. They're out in the grass. So that's the reason I'm being careful. I try to make sure I've got shoes on or boots on when I walk in the yard. I don't want to wear my flip flops because if one touches the side of my toe or my foot over the edge of the flip flop, he's going to sting me. I was trying to find how long they stay alive, but I'm not finding it. It just says stinging caterpillar season returns to Texas. Experts warn against touching fuzzy insects. It said they're usually prevalent in San Antonio from March through December. Here, I don't think they're around, but just a couple of weeks. And I was trying to find something more on them, but yeah, it says here that since these caterpillars like to hide, you don't even know they're there until they sting. That's what happened to me. I didn't know it was there until he stung me. I mean, my hand throbbed all over. I had stings up my fingers, between my fingers, on almost four of my fingers right there, all around that area. I've got pictures of it, I think, on Facebook on my picture page or profile. I guess it depends on how much you're allergic to the venom that they have. It didn't cause me any breathing problems or anything like that, or nausea or headaches. But oh my God, it throbbed. It hurt like, oh, it hurt. It hurt bad enough it makes me want to stay away from them. But when I was talking with him out there, they were saying they had predicted this would be the worst season for those moths this year than they have been before. See them on pine trees. That's right, Linda. We don't have them in Arizona. All I have ever seen them before, except one. Look like that, but all black and fuzzy, but they are. Well, there's different colors of these. I know when I was looking them up, I saw the one that stung me that's in like it's in my yard. And then there's other ones that look more like green or whitish looking that are a little bit different looking, but they all are stinging caterpillars. It just depends on what area you're in, what type of caterpillar you have in your area that will sting. And we have the one I showed you. And I got a lot of them out there. And they come up on the porch too. So I try to make sure I've got something on my feet, even stepping out on the porch, especially at night when I'm not looking down to see what I'm stepping on. Yeah, all I know is don't touch them. Don't touch any of them. Got 30 people watching. That's pretty good. Got a lot of silent viewers. Louisiana Homestead, I just subscribed to your channel. Connie says, I'm not ever going to pet a caterpillar, never. Yeah, you don't want to pet one of them things. They are not friendly. All those trees I got in my yard, but they're even across the street. They get on their driveway and stuff, even though they don't have trees in their yard. They got trees on the lot back behind them and beside them and everywhere. So, and the caterpillars ain't going to stay in one little spot. They're going to travel around. Yeah, I wish I'd have got some sleep last night because I just feel drained today. Didn't really feel like doing anything, but I knew I had to get out there and empty those compost tea buckets, where they drain out of the totes, because they were running over. We got so much rain. And I filled that 32-gallon container up with it because I had emptied it the other day. I dipped out all I could out of that 32-gallon container to water my plants. So it filled it back up. 32 gallons. You used to pet bumblebees? Oh no, I'm not going to pet a bumblebee either. Hopefully one doesn't drop on your head while you're filming. Yeah, hopefully. They're all out under the canopy where I got garden stuff out there, where I put the lights. They get off the trees and bushes and come all in the yard. Well, I never did touch caterpillars. I don't care what kind of caterpillar it is. I never touched them. So the only reason I got stung by that one is because I didn't know he was there and I put my hand where it shouldn't have been. If I'd have known he was there, I would not have gotten stung because I wouldn't have put my hand up there. Yeah. My son has a dog that, oh, he's terrified of thunder and lightning. They rented a house before they moved to where they're at now. And they would leave him outside, on nice days while they were going to work. But there would come up a thunderstorm while they were gone. That poor dog went crazy. He ripped the siding off of the house trying to get in the house. That's how bad it was. Now he's fine. They said if they're home with him, he's in the house and they're with him, he does pretty good. But if they're not there, he goes crazy. He ripped up the carpet, scratched up their bedroom door. They had him in the house, had him in a kennel. He chewed through the metal of that kennel, got out, went down the hallway, and the door to their bedroom was closed. They were at work. He tried to dig under the door, pulled up the carpet, scratched up the door. The poor dog was crazy, scared. That's Stetson. That's his name, Stetson. And his other dog, Blue, never was afraid of lightning or thunder or anything. But the way Stetson gets when it's thundering and lightning, Blue starts doing the same thing. Hi, Yennon. Yohanan. How's Yohanan doing? I used to be afraid of storms, but now I say I am the storm. I noticed your little cat. Have two myself, the best little friends. Yeah, they're sweet. And little buddy's a sweetheart. Oh, I'm not catching no worm, no caterpillar. I'm sorry. Kids, when I was growing up out in the country, they'd catch green snakes. They were all over the place. And a green snake is harmless. It's just a garden snake, and he's a bright green color. And the kids would catch him and play with them all the time. Not me. I didn't want to touch him. I didn't want any part of the green snake. I don't care if he was harmless. In fact, they used to take him to school, put him in the teacher's desk just to watch her reaction when she opened the drawer and saw that green snake in there. But all she did was take the snake out and throw him out the window. Oh, wow. You were playing with something deadly, Susan, when you pick up those caterpillars. Evidently, you never got stung by one. You were picking up the kind that didn't sting. Oh, chili dog sounds good, Susan. I want one. Not in Kansas. Well, good. You don't have them to worry about. I never saw a stinging caterpillar in North Carolina either. I mean, they may have been there, but I never saw one. Yeah, I don't get too nervous unless I see a rattlesnake or a water moccasin, and then I'm not going near him, and I make sure he don't come near me. Yeah, we used to catch lightning bugs and put them in a quart jar just to watch it light up and twinkle at night. Hey, whatever kind of chili's still good. It's still good chili. And there's Too Tall Rob. Yeah, a chili dog right now sounds like that would be real good. LOL, good advice. Those are scary rattlesnakes. Yeah, I don't want no part of a rattlesnake or a water moccasin. And I used to see a water moccasin dead on the street in front of my house every once in a while, where the cars would hit them when they were coming across the street. I don't even see dead ones out there anymore. There's too much traffic. I guess they've kept them killed off this hill. Most of them stay down closer to the water than what I am. Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna eat for supper. I may eat the rest of the some of those sautéed chicken livers and onions that I fixed yesterday for that video. I ate one plate full of them, and I've got one left in the refrigerator. I can warm up and eat, so I don't have to cook. Yeah, Wendy's Junior Bacon sounds good. Well, I've got a Sonic card and a um oh what can't think of it. It's not Whataburger. It's the other place. I got those 2 gift cards. I could go get something to eat, but I hate to go out and eat when I got all this food in the house and it's already cooked. All I gotta do is heat it up. And I did eat that crab salad for lunch. Oh, you bought one of those spiral machines to turn your squash, yellow squash and zucchini into spaghetti noodles. It's pretty good. I mean, if you like squash and zucchini. You're making me hungry, Susan. So you had a chili cheese dog. That's what you ate, a chili cheese dog. I've got a bunch of tomatoes I got to do something with. I'm thinking I might make some pasta sauce with it because there's so many I can't eat them all before they'd go bad. So I may just cook up a bunch of pasta sauce and do a video on it. That way I can seal the can jar that it's in and use it when I want to, not have to worry about it. And I've got 4 bananas over here that are too ripe, or they're getting too ripe. I need to do something with them. So I was thinking I was going to fix some banana nut raisin bread, or it's almost like cake to me. But it's real good to eat a slice of it with your coffee for breakfast in the morning. I'm a diabetic, so I had to eat. Was starting to feel bad. Yeah, I get that. Connie says split and pan fry the hot dog, then chili, onion, and cheese. Yum, yum. It sounds good. Oh, me. Yeah, keep making all the old Southern dishes because that's what everybody's asking me to do. I get so many requests for things to cook when people are on a strict budget, like their retirement check. Some of them are on Social Security checks or a small retirement check. They're on a limited income, don't have much money to buy groceries and stuff with. So they're always wanting me to make some kind of cooking video that will benefit them. How can they eat good on pennies, basically. That's one reason I did the liver and onions video. Because I mean, I love liver, whether it's chicken liver or beef liver. And there's several different ways you can cook it, and that was one of them. Yeah, and Too Tall Rob says, I'm sitting here with a big old burrito covered with cheese. Tell us about it. Yeah, the tried and true stuff, the stuff that people fix for many, many years that didn't cost a fortune at the grocery store to buy all the ingredients to make. Oh well, okay, Shelley. or Sheila. Everybody doesn't like liver. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that will not eat liver of any kind, whether it's beef liver or chicken liver. They won't touch it. But I grew up eating liver, chicken liver and beef liver, calf liver. So I like it. I like to flour it and fry it like they do at Chicken Express. Well, I've got a little bit of cooked rice that I had in a container in the refrigerator. I think I might take the rice out, put my chicken liver and onions on top of the rice and heat it up in the microwave. And that's probably going to be my dinner tonight. See, doing all these cooking videos, I've always got cooked food around and I hate to throw it out. So that means I got to eat it eventually, I guess. I'm tired and I need something bigger than a sandwich. I hear that. Sometimes a sandwich just don't cut it. Oh, you like my onion burger, huh, Yannin? Yannin. Well, I'm glad you liked it. That was a good burger. For anybody that loves onions, you'll love that onion burger. It was so good. It was so big though. Oh my God, I was stuffed by the time I ate that burger. Yeah, me too. I never would eat black-eyed peas when I was younger, but since I started cooking myself and I cook black-eyed peas myself, I love them the way I fix them. Yeah, mushrooms are good. I try not to get many of those because I'm a little bit allergic to mushrooms. I mean, I'd have to eat quite a bit of them for them to bother me, but I don't usually buy them. Once in a while, I might. I still haven't had them greens. Well, I cut greens yesterday to cook. I haven't cooked them yet. I need to cook them because I've had people, oh, I can't wait to see what you're going to do with the stuff you harvest out of the garden. Well, I think I did do a video on greens, but I showed how to blanch them and drain them and put them in bags to freeze them. But I didn't show how to cook them, I think, to eat them. Way back a year or so ago, I think I did a video on cooking them to eat them. And there's so many ways to fix those greens, it's unreal. Some people cook them with ham hocks or a ham bone. Some people just do like I do, saute them in a fan with a little bit of olive oil. I don't even season them. I just pan fry them with some olive oil, eat them like that. Well, see, that's what a lot of people say. But if you don't eat them that often, it's not going to hurt you. I only eat chicken livers maybe once every 2 months. I only eat beef liver about once every 2 months. So I don't think I eat enough of it that it's going to bother my cholesterol. And that's the way my brother and his wife did. They knew it was bad for cholesterol. So they just eat it once in a while. They don't eat it all the time. Yeah, my beef liver, I like to flour it, batter it, fry it, take it out of the pan, make a gravy, put my onions in there so my onions are cooked. And then I'll take my beef liver that's already fried and crispy and put it back in that gravy with the onions and just let it cook a little, maybe 1 or 2 more minutes, and then serve it on mashed potatoes. Oh, that is so good on cream potatoes, y'all wouldn't believe. And I found in Texas they don't make beef liver and onions the way I always grew up eating it. They don't flour the liver when they fry it. They just kind of do it like I did the chicken livers. They sauteed it in a pan, just the chicken livers without being battered, and then put the onions in there too. And it's good that way, but I like it better if you batter your liver and fry it, and then make your gravy, a brown gravy, to go on with your onions and your mashed potatoes. That is so good. Well, did you see my chicken liver and onions video, Shelley? I posted it, I think, this afternoon. The key to chicken livers is don't overcook it. It gets dry and it dried out when it's overcooked. If you'll cook it till it's just not pink inside, it's so good that way. You made chicken Alfredo tonight for dinner. That sounds good. Yeah, sauteed chicken liver and onions is so easy to make. The hardest thing was is slicing those onions because they made me cry. I must be somewhat allergic to that onion. It just ruins my eyes anytime I cut up an onion or slice an onion. I got the hiccups. We just chicken Alfredo pasta from Domino's. What a coincidence. Oh, you just got chicken Alfredo from Domino's. I didn't know Domino's sold chicken Alfredo pasta. I thought they just had pizzas. Shows you how much I go out. Yeah, but a food processor for one onion. I mean, I got slicers and dicers and all that, but you still breathe the vapors from the onion when you're using it. Cheesy bread sounds real good. Oh my goodness. Jason's has good Alfredo. Ooh-wee. Even with my coffee, y'all, I'm gonna go to sleep. Because like I said, I've been up all night. They make little ones, Linda. I don't think we have a Jason's around here anywhere. I've never heard of it. A Jason's restaurant? Is that what you're talking about? I don't know where one would be. I love trio tips on egg noodles and make a gravy to put over. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Sounds good. They have the best salad bar. Yeah, I don't know if Texas has a Jason's. See if I can bring it up. Do a search. but I don't know. I mean, they may have one up around Fort Worth, Dallas, somewhere like that, but I've never heard of it. Maybe next time I catch your live, I'll come up on the panel and visit with you. Well, you can come up now, Too Tall. There's the link at the top of the chat box. Copy it, paste it into your browser, and do a search, and it'll put you backstage. I put you up on the screen with me. Come on, don't be shy. That's why I posted it up at the top of the chat box. So anybody that wants to get up here on screen with me could. Oh, they don't advertise? Well, usually if a place doesn't advertise, it means that they don't have to. They're good enough that they don't have to advertise. Is it it's a Jason's Deli restaurant? Is that's what it's called, Susan? Oh, excuses, Too Tall Rob. Get up here on screen. Yeah, they've got Jason's Deli restaurant in Fort Worth. They got several of them in Fort Worth. My screen keeps wanting to black out. So see, I didn't even know we had Jason's in Texas, but we got several locations in Fort Worth. You know, I was looking at Sonic's menu online last night. They have some weird sounding drinks and stuff. They got a blackout slushy drink or something. They come up with that for the eclipse and they still got it on the menu. They've got a dirty what they call a dirty slush. I had to look up and see what all that meant. I didn't know what they were talking about, a dirty slush, a dirty drink. Oh wow. Well, there's three or four of them listed in Fort Worth at different locations up there, but I've never been to them. I didn't know they were there. Of course, I don't go to Fort Worth to go out to eat anymore either. So I used to go up there every once in a while and go out to eat lunch with my daughter and her mother-in-law. Or sometimes I'd go up there and go out to eat with all of them, my son-in-law and my daughter and her mother-in-law. You don't like it? Hmm. You got to be friends with a couple of people that work there. Well, you know, everybody don't like the same type of food. Yeah, but I know what you mean, too tall, Rob. But I don't think that burrito made you tired. You must have been doing something else today that made you tired. Sometimes I'm too tired to even think. And my grass needs mowing again, and oh, I don't even want to do that. And I'm not going to do it yet because it's too wet out there to cut grass. My neighbor's got a robo lawnmower. You operate it by Wi-Fi. I said I need one of them. It got hung up on the mailbox pole yesterday. I was out there talking with Miranda's dad. He said, "Well, son-in-law just got a new lawnmower, but it's hung up on the mailbox pole." It was funny. I said I'd have to be out there with it all the time, guiding it around my yard. I've got so many obstacles around it would stay hung up all the time. I think they've got a grid worked out on one side of the yard where they can just turn it on and let it go and forget about it. It'll go mow the yard while they're in the house because it'll mow one stretch and turn around and come back and mow again and turn around and go back down. I said, I need me an automatic lawnmower, remote controlled. I saw the funniest thing on YouTube one day. I just come across it accidentally where this guy put a stake out in the middle of his yard and he tied a rope or chain or something to the pole to add to his lawnmower. And it was made to where every time it would go around, it would wrap around the pole or the stake in the middle, and it would make the rope shorter. So the mower would come in a little bit each time it went around, and it would mow the yard in a big circle. I couldn't even do that. I got too much junk in my yard. Oh, you were out to the farm for brunch, and then we took the boat to the lake and got it, put it in, and tied off. Oh, I like corny dogs too. I haven't had one of those in a long time. Culver's taste so good. Too expensive. I've never been there either. Maybe that's why, it's because it costs too much. I've never heard of Culver's. We have a lot of barbecue places and pizza places and Mexican restaurants and stuff like that here in Granbury. Oriental restaurants. The last time I went to Golden Corral, I was in North Carolina on vacation, and my brother and his wife took me out to Golden Corral in Wilmington, and we ate off their buffet, and it was really good. They had some really good clams on the half shell. Those things were really good. I mean, they were cooked. They weren't raw clams. They were really good. Yeah, their fish, seafood is good at Golden Corral. I think every time my brother would go to Wilmington to go shopping or do stuff, they'd go eat at Golden Corral, whether it be breakfast or lunch. That was their favorite place to go. We had a Golden Corral here in Granbury at one time, but It was only open for a short time and then it closed up, moved out. Don't know what happened to that. My first flight on a helicopter was from place enter Kansas to Grand Prairie, Texas, and back to the ball game, or back from a ball for a ball game. Texas Roadhouse in Illinois is a twice a year occasion. Well, we've got a mesquite barbecue restaurant here. We've got Spring Creek, which is a barbecue place, and they have really good barbecue. And of course, we have a lot of places you can get fried catfish. We have the Pam's restaurants. Texas Roadhouse was too loud. A lot of people love Babes here in Granbury, for their fried chicken and, well, they serve fish too. The only thing I don't like about it is if one person goes in there, you got to order the same thing as if two or three went in, because you'll get the whole chicken. I don't care if you're just one person. That's why I don't go there by myself. Yeah, would go there a couple of times with my daughter and my son-in-law and her mother-in-law, and we'd always get the fried chicken. And I didn't realize it was fried, just one order of fried chicken, which you get the whole chicken, and you get biscuits and you get side vegetables and stuff. And then I think you pay for your tea or whatever you drink extra. But if one person goes in there, you get the same thing and you got to pay that whole amount. And then you don't take it home with you, except for the chicken. They let you take the meat home. I said, I can't afford to go eat there by myself. I've got to have 3 or 4 people to go. And I didn't know they did that. I went in there one Sunday by myself and I said, well, I like Babe's chicken. I'm going to go by there and get me a piece of chicken or two and eat lunch in Babe's. And oh, no, I found out you order enough for 4 people, even if you're one. And the waiter says, well, we're geared to couples. You've got to have people come with you. I said, well, you just lost my business. And April's back. I hate KFC, but Church's is, well, the only thing I don't like about KFC, their chicken is not cooked enough. I ordered a fried chicken plate there one time, and I couldn't eat the chicken. It wasn't cooked done. I had to bring it home, put it in the microwave, and cook it before I could eat it. So I don't usually go to KFC. I like the Chicken Express and what is the other place? I can't think of the name of it. The other place that sells a lot of chicken. It's kind of like Chicken Express, but it's not Chicken Express. It's got a different name. The butter beans and rice sounds real good. I didn't get fed. I don't know who Too Tall Rob is talking about. What town are you talking about? Remind me next. Remind me next time I'm in town. I'll take you there and we can go in as a couple and I didn't get fed. I don't know what all that was about. I haven't fixed mashed potatoes in a while. I probably need to cook a dinner with mashed potatoes coming up pretty soon. Chick-fil-A, that's what I was trying to think of. We have a Chick-fil-A and then we have Chicken Express. And I kind of like Chicken Express. I've gotten their I've gotten their chicken tender plates. I've got their chicken livers from there, but and their okra. I find though that a lot of times their chicken livers are fried too hard. They have good mac and cheese. Oh, I love mac and cheese. We used to have a Popeyes here, but it closed up and moved out. And we used to have Long John Silver's too. And for some reason they closed up and moved. And I loved Long John Silver's fish. I'd go there every once in a while and eat me some fish. Have no idea why they closed and moved out. Wagner, Oklahoma has tornado warnings. Well, we've had tornado warnings here all day. Every time I go to the app to look at the weather forecast, updated weather forecast, it shows it in red. Tornado warning. And I forgot until what time tonight it was. I heard somebody say that Long John Silver's closed up and moved because people were getting too fat. I thought to myself, well, you ain't going to get no fatter on their food than you are anybody else's. Depends on how much you eat of it. Oh, man. I said there was a couple of restaurants that I kind of thought I would like to see them put in Granbury. And one of those is Olive Garden, and one is Red Lobster. I don't know if maybe Granbury is not big enough for those two restaurants, but they've not come to Granbury yet. You have to go to Fort Worth to go to either one of those. Yeah, it's really too expensive to go out to eat. And especially if you go to a buffet, I feel like I don't eat enough worth going out to pay for a meal on a buffet. Now, if I go and order a meal and I can't eat it all, I can at least bring it home. But you're not supposed to take out food from a buffet. So I don't feel like I get my money's worth. Yeah. Yeah. So those two cards I've got, Burger King and Sonic, that's going to be a treat to go use those gift cards up. And like I said, I'll probably do a video on going out there when I do go. I just haven't went yet. Well, what we usually do, my daughter and her mom and mother-in-law, when we go out to eat lunch, when I'd go up there to their house, we'd go to Olive Garden and eat soup and salad. Because my God, by the time I ate a bowl of their soup, their salad, and ate the breadsticks that go with it, I was too full to eat anything else. And they had really good soup, and I love their salad. And the last time we went, um, my daughter's mother-in-law said, "Oh, this is a very good choice." I said, "Well, I can't eat a whole lot of food." And I said, "This soup and salad is almost too much to eat." Because usually if I eat a good salad, that's all I eat. I don't eat anything else with it. So to eat that bowl of soup and eat a salad with the breadstick, that was a lot of food. Can of soup here is $5 and $6. Oh my God. We don't have a Panera bread here. Not in the town I live in anyway. I mean, they may have it in some of the bigger towns around me, like Fort Worth or Dallas. Yeah, and you can make you a big old pot of poor boy soup like I did in my video. Look how many cans of soup you got in that pot. Yeah, now it depends on what kind of soup you buy here. Now, if you get the Hungry Man's, the bigger cans of soup, that they'll run you close to $3 a can. But now the little chicken noodle soups and stuff like that, you can get those for like $1.59. Some of the cheaper brands you can get for $1.19 maybe. I was trying to think of the name of the big cans of soup. I think one is Hungry Man. I don't remember what the other one is, but they're a little pricey. But you get basically twice as much as what you get in the small cans anyway, though. Teach all Rob says what you guys call soup in a can, I call craft in a can. I hardly ever buy a can of soup. Now, sometimes I'll buy chicken noodle soup or tomato soup, and I'll have it here on hand in case I got sick or something and just wanted a bowl of hot soup. So I'd have it. But as a general rule, I don't buy it. I usually make my own soups. I usually make my own chicken noodle soup and stuff like chicken and rice soup. And then I put containers in the freezer so I have it whenever I want it. If I'm going to have fish, I like to go to a fish place and get my meal. Well, that can be a little pricey too. I mean, that's why both of my freezers and my refrigerator's crammed full right now. I got too much food. I mean, if something happens and the store shelves are bare, I'm set. I got food. Well, we have a few fish places like Stumpy's out there close to where I go fishing. That is a real good restaurant to get your fish. They have some of the best fried catfish. Oh my goodness. I like fried catfish with mild sauce. Too Tall Rob says crap in a can. I don't know. I like Stumpy's because I love catfish, and they have really good catfish. And I like Spring Creek because it has really good barbecue. And you go in and you go through like a food line, and you point to what you want, and that's what they put on your plate, and then you pay for it at the end of the line, depending on what you have, what you get on your plate. I usually get their barbecue sandwiches, chopped sandwiches, and okra, and that is so much I can't eat it all. Usually, I cut the sandwich in half and bring half the sandwich and half the okra home with me because it's a really big sandwich. It's the big buns. I've never bought anchovies. I don't know if I'd even like them or not. I've been to some fish fries where there was a fight that broke out over my hush puppies several times. I've never been to Mesquite Restaurant. That's another good barbecue place. That's one of the newer barbecue places for Granbury, but I've never been there. I've heard they got good food, but usually when I go to get barbecue, I go to Spring Creek. I know we all need to plan a trip to go see April in Hawaii. Yeah, I miss some of those days too, Yohanan. My family, when I was growing up, we always would have fish fries on the riverbank. We'd go fishing all morning, and then whatever fish we caught, we'd fry for lunch for dinner. And everybody that went to the fish fry, the whole family would bring side dishes, like potato salad. They'd bring cake, all kind of stuff. Hush puppies. Yeah, I've got some beef tips that I need to fix, but I don't know when I'm going to fix them. That is on my hospital tray. I have beef tips with gravy and penny sauce, paste, zucchini, Saka's strawberry lemon cake. Too much for me. Well, eat what you can. It sounds good. Yeah, it sounds like they're feeding her good where she's at. I went to see a friend of mine a couple of years ago in the hospital in Glen Rose. She was having knee surgery, and they had just brought her lunch before I got there, and she wouldn't eat it. It was a stuffed chicken breast. And she said, Linda, take that home with you. I don't like it. It's not good. So I wrapped it up in one of the paper napkins that was there, and I took it home with me. I warmed it up and ate it. It was really good. But that's what I say. Everybody doesn't like the same things. I can like a lot of things, but that doesn't mean you're going to like them. But I've got so many people wanting me to fix all these cheap, easy, inexpensive dishes. And that's why I've been trying to come up with a lot of the stuff I fixed for many years that you can fix without a whole lot of ingredients, that's really inexpensive to buy and cook and easy to cook. Yeah, she needs to thank her lucky stars she got some food like that in that hospital. Most hospitals don't give you real good food. You've had bad pneumonia? Oh, well, I'm sorry. Pneumonia is not fun. I've had it one time. I take had then I had to go in and take the pneumonia shot. I have not eaten jello in long I have not even made jello in a long time. And I think I had bought some fruit cocktail and some cherry jello just to make me a fruit salad with it. And it's in the cabinet. I meant didn't fingers, LO. That's who I'm missing is Gladys, and she said she may not be here because of her pad. She said, but I'll be listening even if I don't get in chat. I'll be glad when she gets her other one. I don't know. Maybe she'll have better luck with getting online and getting in their chats. Subway is pretty good. I just haven't been there a long time. I know the last time I went there, I got one of their meatball subs. They're 6 inch, and oh my God, that was all I could eat. That was a lot of food. I think I ate half of it and then waited for another meal before I ate the other half. Yeah, me and Susan both must have stayed up all night last night, early on. Well, I didn't get to bed till like 4 o'clock this morning, 4:30 this morning. And then, like I said, I only slept for about a half hour and woke up and couldn't go back to sleep. So I've just been kind of wore out today. Only till 1:15. Yeah, it's turned out to be a beautiful sunshiny day here too. You never knew we had a downpour of rain last night with a storm moving through. So Susan said all my batteries died, so I had to go then. I haven't slept. I got up at 4 a.m. Saturday morning and haven't slept since. Oh my goodness. I know you're wore out, Connie. I know there was one time there I didn't sleep for 4 and 5 days straight and still had to go to work the next day. I get the football meatball. Or did you mean the foot long? Wichita Falls got 4 inches of hail. Oh wow. I wouldn't doubt it because we had warnings that we could get possible damaging hail, damaging wind, tornadoes, heavy rain, and all we got was the heavy rain. I know that's called a foot long meatball sandwich. I've never heard of a football meatball. I've always heard it foot long. Well, you too, Yenin. You have a beautiful day, beautiful life. And we've been on here, oh my God, for what, about 3.5 hours? Time flies when you're having fun, y'all. Like I said, my microphone does not properly translate for me. I'd hate to see what mine would translate for me when I'm talking. I know. I enjoy being in chat and chatting with everybody. And the time goes by and I don't realize it's been that long. It's been so long since I've been to Subway. I'm sure they've come up with new sandwiches. But I love meatballs and pasta sauce and stuff. So the last time I went in there, I just had to try the meatball sub. So that's what I got. Yeah, I'm hoping I'll sleep tonight too, so I'll feel halfway decent tomorrow. Too tall, Rob, that could get you in trouble. It might translate something and for you to say that you don't want to say sometimes. Yeah, Johanna, and you have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. Sleep tight tonight. Be safe. Yeah, we got to get off here too. I didn't realize we were been on here for so long. So if y'all live in any areas where they're giving tornado warnings or anything like that today, be safe. I don't think anything's going to come of the warnings here. I think it's a ways off from us. I'm hoping because we have had damaging tornadoes in this area before. It's taken out whole neighborhoods almost. Last time I looked, it was 2 hours. Well, mine says 3 hours over here. Oh, southeast of me. You ain't getting your nap. Well, I'm sorry to keep you from your nap too tall, Rob. Yeah, keep your eyes on the weather radar. Y'all be safe. And as much as I love talking to all of you, chatting with you, I can stay on here all evening. I think I'm going to wind it up, let y'all go, let you get things that you need to get done. It's too late for a nap. You won't sleep tonight. Well, I'll tell you what, I found if I get sleepy enough, it ain't never too late for a nap. I was messing on the computer last night and I was literally nodding off, sitting here. And I said, this is stupid. So I paused the computer. I went in there and laid down on my bed and tried to take a nap. I couldn't go to sleep, but I laid down and I rested for a while, and then I come back in here. You have a good night too, Susan. And like I said, I'm going to wrap it up. We've been on here long enough. I've enjoyed it. Love all of you. And I guess I'll see you on my next live. Bye now.